I always got attention. I always apparently had the look. Women found me attractive, or girls found me attractive, and of course women. But I'm going back to school days. Them days where girls would pass you notes in the hallway and then give you their number and expect you to call them at some point. Walking down the street, having groups of women or girls giggling and pointing at you, staring at you. Now, as an introverted individual, that gave me anxiety. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially as a kid. Because as a man, you're expected to reach people's standards and expectations and perform and get the job done. So that's a short glimpse of my personal experience. I've never had to worry about my aesthetics. Now that I've gotten older, more mature, in my 30s, I do need to get my teeth fixed because I have a genetic gum or bone loss disorder or whatever. It's gonna cost thousands of dollars. That's a whole nother backstory. But outside of that, I've always felt, or I've been affirmed, that I've always been perfect. At least that's what reality has shown me. It's subjective. Yes, I get it. You're never going to be everybody's type. I've heard women say they didn't like Brad Pitt. He's supposed to be the pinnacle of manliness or something. But to get to the point, this is why being handsome is not enough, especially as a man. Here's the thing with being a man. You have to get your shit together internally. You have to be strong, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. There's no other way around that. That is how you evolve. That is how you win in this game called life. Because as somebody who's grown up physically attractive, that was simply not everything. It gets you in the door. In particular with women, it gets you in the door. They'll look at you. But women, especially the more attractive they get, they're less likely to shoot their shot. You're still going to have to initiate some form of action, conversation. Now, I'm not saying it never happens because it's definitely happened on multiple occasions on my end, but in general, as a man, we have to initiate and take charge, not just with women, but with our own lives in general. We have to get up in the morning and make things shake. We have to make stuff happen. The more passive we are, the more feminine we become. Now, let me break that part down too. Every single human being has both feminine and masculine energies within them. So there's nothing necessarily wrong with either or. However, if we want to take on the identity of being a masculine man, we need to be more so on the spectrum of getting shit done, of putting in action, of putting in work, of taking accountability of our own lives. Our own lives. We need to own our lives instead of just sitting back passively waiting to be taken care of, waiting for something to fall into our lap. It is up to us and only us to get up and create the reality that we desire. And there's not much around that. Now, the feminine dynamic, on that side of the spectrum, you can be slightly passive when it comes to rest and recovery and meditation and attracting certain opportunities towards us, such as the times women have sort of fell into my lap, literally and figuratively. But we need to also recognize when it's time to put in that action and make things happen. That is the number one thing I would say that I have learned in that small dynamic of life of being a handsome man. You still got to do the work. You still got to get things done. Now, I'm relaying this to women right now because handsome man, attract women, blah, blah, they go together. But I also want to make sure I'm conjoining this and relating this to life in general. On the topic of women, if you do want to find your significant other, if you want to find your soulmate, so to speak, the person that you can be with, if that's what you're into, it is going to be up to you on a daily basis to check yourself as a man, to be real with yourself on what needs to be done in order for that relationship to prosper, in order for your own life to prosper, in order for you to be on track when it comes to following your purpose, following your true will, following what you were put here on this planet to do and become. That is the number one mission for all men. Handsome or not, forget the handsomeness. That looks good on paper. Yeah, you get gawked at, you get compliments, but it's nothing of substance. You don't even want to get caught up in that, because if you just take on anybody that's attracted to you, if you just take it on with no standards, you're going to get finessed and your life is going to go to hell. So you also have to have a level of discernment in life as a man. You have to know when to move on from certain situations. You have to know when to put you and your purpose first. Whatever that purpose, whatever that goal is first. You do not want to let people, women, society distract you from that. You want to keep the traction when it comes to rolling towards your purpose. That is our mission on a day-to-day basis. And that is why discipline is key. Now, life is going to be subjective. Only you know what it is that you need to do. Only you can figure out what it is that you need in order to prosper. But it must be done. It has to happen. The first thing I would say any man can do is to make sure you're in shape on a daily basis, or get into better shape. Lift weights. Lifting weights will boost your testosterone. Lifting weights will shape and mold your body, your aesthetic. It will give you the foundation necessary to handle life's pressures. Because handling a physical pressure like a barbell is a reflection of what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to stress, emotional stress, mental stress, and things of that nature. Get into breath work and meditation. Get into stuff, whatever that is. Going for walks, riding a bike. This is going to be subjective towards you, but you want to get into stuff that is going to help you level out stress. That's going to help you evolve. That's going to help you tie in closer to your purpose. Look, as men, we're not just given something on a daily. Stuff isn't just handed towards us, even if we are handsome. So we need to make sure that we are doing stuff. Simple as that. We are improving our social skills. We are improving our aesthetics. We are improving our knowledge towards things. We are getting better at whatever our so-called purpose is, whatever our mission on this planet is. On a day-to-day basis, that has to be priority number one. How are you going to support your woman? How are you going to support your family if you're not tied into your purpose and getting stuff done, not just to pay the bills, but to strive, to prosper, to expand your lineage if that's what you want to do? So just something to keep in mind. If you're interested, comment below. If you like what I said, or if you have any questions, comment below. Feel free. I am a personal trainer. I am a coach. My links will be in the bio. But yeah, as men, being handsome is not enough. We have to make things happen. Peace.